monkey off his back here.
And there is Dungey lined up, and you can see the missing gate position. That was Kennard.
Kennard right there, 3 to the inside.
Because they do pick their gates by order of where they finished in the first moto, and Kennard did finish 3rd in that moto.
Now also, if you remember off the first start, that rider that was on the far outside, he actually had a problem with the bike where it didn't start. And that was, I believe it was
Greg Crater,
one of the locals.
So a couple of reset chances for riders like Crater, for Reed, who didn't get the start he wanted, even for Dungey, who was running 3rd when we red flagged it. We are re-racked and ready to go racing again here at WASHUGAL. And I don't think Villopoto's going to get it this time. It's Dungey out front, although Villopoto and Justin Brayton of the number 10 right there, and Reed tucks in on the inside.
Chad Reed tucks in. He's right there next to Brayton as they drag race up Horsepower Hill for the 2nd time here in Moto 2. Dungey making good on the restart out front.
And Dungey launching and then landing in those ruts. He is putting on a full sprint on this first lap.
And this will put the pressure on the number 2 of Ryan Villopoto. There will be a sense of urgency knowing that, hey, Dungey's been sharp here and he's been strong the last couple of weeks. Now I'm going to have to work extra hard here in front of my hometown crowd to try to win my first overall here at Washaugal.
And Brayton doing a good job on the Muscle Milk Toyota JGR bike in 3rd, holding Reed back. They're sorting out their lines, figuring it out, as you got the 1 of Dungey and the 2 of Villopoto reversed from where they were before the restart. Villopoto is coming after it.
Wow, they are all over the track trying to find some good lines. Moto 1, these riders started with a fairly fresh track, not too many bumps. By the end of that race, it was extremely rough everywhere, and you add on the fact that here at Washaugal, the roost coming off of the rear tire, that dirt that sprays up, hurts more here than any place on the circuit.
Look at Villopoto trying everything to get around Dungey, and he almost does. That is a turn where there's usually not room to make passes, but he gave it a run.
He's fired up, Jason. There's a sense of urgency also. This is for the overall.
And now he's going to go to the inside. Dungey on the outside.
This is only the first lap.
Yeah.
And they're riding at an intensity level and with the urgency of the championship being on the line.
Well, it's almost a chess match here right now because Villopoto has been very quick through the first half of these races. The second half, as of late, Dungey has been the man coming on strong. So I think Villopoto knows if he didn't pass him in the first half, it could be tough to get him in the second.
I tell you what's going to be tough is for anybody to catch these guys. Reed is up in the second, but look how far behind he is. When we get a wide shot, try to find Chad Reed in the background.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they put several seconds on him as he was battling with Brayton, but I don't know if that was Brayton holding him up or just the fact that Dungey and Villopoto are on it right now out front.
I'm telling you, having Dungey out front like this just adds this level of intensity for Villopoto. You can see how determined he is. Wow. He is riding the outsides, the insides, whatever it takes. He is finding smooth lines. He went from left all the way to right to the outside here in that turn. Look at the riders zigzagging all over the track here to try to find a place where they can apply the pressure, the power of these 450cc engines.
Well, he's applying the pressure too, don't kid yourself. And look at the fans there along the fence line cheering for Villopoto, the Washington State native, who again has never won here at this track. Meanwhile, Dungey has 3 consecutive wins, 2 on a 250 bike, and last year on the 450s. But of course, Villopoto was not here last year. He was out injured. So really hard to pick a winner in this battle. And a little mistake there from Villopoto, and that allows Dungey to score it away just for a moment. But you know Villopoto's going to try to bring some more heat.
No doubt, but Dungey has been so smooth today, even through the 2 qualifying practices. I was so impressed with his patience and his speed that he was riding relatively easy, but his speed was there and his lap times were fantastic.
Here's some speed. The 24 Metcalf, Rockstar Makita Suzuki, manages to put it in front of Brayton. So Metcalf going to 4th. He wants to measure himself against these 3 riders who have been dominating the series, and that is Villopoto, Dungey, and Reed. Metcalf has a chance here running in 4th, and Reed is in front of him. Then it is Brayton Hahn, Jimmy Albertson, Jake Weimer. Mike Alessi is 9th, and that's probably the rider who came out the worst end of the deal with the restart, obviously besides Kennard, who was injured. but Alessi was second on the first start and is now ninth.
Yeah, he's right there, and he's followed, rounding out the top 10, Michael Byrne, who was fifth on the first start. So they had a second and a fifth. Now they're ninth and 10th. But it's it's a do-over for certain riders. Look at Tommy Hahn here on the Moto Concepts Yamaha, putting in a fantastic ride. He's had some really good speed, but he's also hit the mat a couple times this season.
There's Alessi trying to make up for that bad start. He's got to battle Jimmy Albertson, who last week was number 108 on a Honda and is now on the Valley Rockstar Yamaha team.
Watch this as Albertson goes to the far left. Alessi's like, okay, I got to get over to my right here, and I got to get out of the roots because up horsepower hill on a 450, that stuff hurts, Jason.
There goes Alessi to the inside.
Wow.
And he gets aggressive. You don't often see that out of Alessi, but that sense of urgency that you keep mentioning, they are all feeling it early in this one.
Well, and it's a sense of urgency, and when you have that, your intensity just increases, and you just are fired up. Like the riders at the front right now, Dungey was a 209, Villopoto was 2 seconds off at a 211. The group we're watching right now with Weimer is a 216, Alessi was a 215, and then Byrne is a 217. So you can see quite a bit of difference because Dungey is out front flying right now, and he, like I mentioned earlier, he's almost the most patient, it looked like. So I think that there's something to that here on this track at Washaugal, to setting the fast lap times, to being patient, flowing through your turns.
And here is Alessi attacking Weimer, who had another disappointing first moto. He finished 15th. Had a crash at one point, was out of the top 20, trying to recover here, but no time to recover because Alessi has taken the position away. So that will move Alessi up to 8th.
Yeah, that's a big disappointment right there when you get to start, say, okay, what can I do with this? And then riders are starting to go by you. It's frustrating because at that point it becomes so mental, and your mind, the gremlins just come into your mind, and you're trying to put it all together. And in this situation, I talk about when things start to happen fast in your head. All of a sudden, you're turning, Weimer turned to 2:15 lap time, but in his head, the speed was going like he was at a 2-minute flat, and then that it gets hard to focus at that point.
Okay, so after taking on a lot of pressure from Villopoto to the first lap and a half, Dungey has settled in, turned in a fastest lap of the moto so far with a 209, backed it down to a 210, but Villopoto was only able to match that, so the gap is at exactly 2 seconds between those two. But look at the clock at the top of the screen. 20 minutes and then 2 laps to go. You've got to figure that Villopoto is going to have another attack in him before this one is over.
Did you see Dungey there? That inside line right there, he went through that, perfect execution. Just so smooth through there. Applied the throttle, coming back up the hill into the shadows.
How about this? Metcalf challenging Reed for third. And we went over and talked to Reed's team between the motos, and I don't know, they weren't saying that he felt injured, but you have to wonder if Reed is indeed at 100% after that big crash last weekend. Although, to Metcalf's credit, he definitely has been stepping up over the last couple of weeks. Right now, he is giving the 22 all he can handle.
Yeah, no doubt. Metcalf has been getting a little better with each passing race, and as you get deeper into this championship, historically, Metcalf is really good at the end of the season. We saw last year when he locked up second place in the championship in the final round where him and Andrew Short were battling it out. I do believe that Chad Reed, though, there's a little edge taken off, a little bit of that intensity and the comfort level at that pace that he's been on the last month or so. Doesn't quite have that spark and that intensity that he had the previous weeks.
And Justin Brayton, who is in 5th with the number 10, they haven't dropped him. He is still there in some of the tighter sections of the course, so they got by him quick, but he's trying to hook on. Look at Metcalf all over Reed through these turns. And then you've got Brayton and Hahn, and these two were in a battle in the second moto last week in Minnesota. It's kind of funny. It's a thing in motocross where almost no matter where these guys start, they end up hooking up in the same positions. Oh, Metcalf has made the move on Reed, and that is huge in the championship standings. 2 points here, the difference between 3rd and 4th, but I'm telling you, and when you look at the whole championship, as close as this is, those points are so valuable. All right, we've been talking about the 22, but what about the 24? Aaron, what are you hearing on Metcalf?
Brett told me that that was the best moto of his entire season during Moto number 1, where he finished 4th. He said it gave him back the confidence that he needed, and he's got some